Boom to the hay, all you sports fans out there on the tubosphere, of which you, the individual, is a part of that collective. Welcome to the OMSR. I am your brief but very concise host, Will the Alternative ESPN Sports Thrill, along with Dwayne Darnett, ultimate sports fan, the OMSR mascot, and a few of the Pi Kappa Alpha House Sweethearts. You review chapter Alpha Tau. Give me props. Alright, it's just a brief intro show, thing-a-ling-a-majing, so you know what's coming up in the whys, two, wherefores, why I took what I took, and so forth. A little montage of the montage. Take it from the herd. I'd like to take some of the best of key sporting events. See if his game is on in the college football world. He's much better with the NFL. Alright, so in chronological order, Rich Rod talking about how you beat him. Mac Brown last year talking about not looking forward to meeting him in a bowl. So your last two coaches, minus Jimbo Fisher, talking about that aspect. Tim Tebow talking about him. All the Mark May signs, of which plenty of documentation is on the channel as to why that may be. And then a montage of the Rose and Sugar Bowl as put together by ESPN, how we got to this point. Alright, so just to further up what Tebow, you'll hear him talking about, Urban Meyer, and Colin chimes in on this as well. What makes him like the best college coach ever in terms of like turning around a program, getting quarterback play out of, you know, maybe we'll see fourth string tonight. It's pretty amazing, really. I mean, he did wonders at yours truly's alma mater, the U. Yes, the Pi Kappa Alpha. It's part of the OMSR shtick, you know. College, sports, they definitely go hand in hand. So, here he was talking about Oregon's system and how the pressure's on. You got to win the big one, got to win the big enchilada to validate the system. Remember when the system unveiled itself? Oregon was on the road at Michigan, saying, 6-7 years ago, I want to say, and people were like, "What is this?" And it was a blowout as well. Alright, so yeah, Mark May shares his legs, Mark May this, that, and the other. Dude brought it on himself. So for my part, I'm just going to say, since they're missing, you know, another key cog in the offense, you're going to see lots of option from Mario. That's it, that's what's coming up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for nice prognostications to look at after the fact, see who was mostly spot on or not. Alright, reminding you, sports and alcohol, they are joined at the hips, so no silly DUIs while you're out there, especially after, you know, your preferred university wins today. Whoop.
There's a feeling that Oregon has to win against Ohio State to validate their system. What? So they've been the program of the decade, right? Alabama's been the best program last 5-6 years, but Oregon has really been the program last 10 to 12. They have dominated, overwhelmingly dominated the second best conference, which this year, let's be honest, SEC, is the best conference. We saw your Bulls, we saw theirs. It was the best conference. It's dominated. They're 3-0 in their last bowls with Marcus Mariota, so they're beating teams out of conference. When they did lose to Auburn in the national title, it was like down to the last series. Not like they got blown out. Awards don't make your work better. Titles don't make your work better, but they somehow validate in America. They prove, hey, Oregon was right. That system of theirs, that crazy system, it works. Our society is so enamored with titles and awards. Like, Oregon has to win this game to validate the program. Folks, they're favored. They have destroyed every team in their conference, which this year was the best conference. They've got NFL players everywhere. Their running back, Royce Freeman, was the best running back in the country. First or second. LSU got the other two. They got all sorts of players everybody wanted. Mariota won the Heisman. They dominated conference. 3-0 in their last 3 bowl games. Titles matter. They're important. They're important. I'm not saying they're not. But the idea that Oregon has to win or it invalidates their program, you're off your rocker. You beat Oregon in Oregon on October 2nd, 31-24. I mean, nobody's beating them 7-3. You got to score points. When you beat them, and again, this happens about every other year. Is there a matter of luck? Did the game end up like you thought when you faced it?
I think there's always an element of luck, particularly when you play a team as good as Oregon and you run a chance to win. And everybody wants to know, well, what did you do to beat them? If we had all the answers, we'd beat them the second time, right? But the truth is, we played a relatively clean game. And 2 years ago, we played them at home. It's the cleanest game they've had.
You've beaten Oregon how many times now?
Well, we beat them two years ago, 2 of the last 3 times.
2 of the last 3 times. So you're the team that's done it.
We've done it. Our guys have done a great job. Obviously, we didn't do it in the championship game. But you have to play a relatively clean game. But you can't panic. And one thing we always talk about for us, we're comfortable being uncomfortable with the scheme and the tempo. And you have to learn to be uncomfortable when you play in Oregon, because they're going to make you uncomfortable. If that's your world, it's okay. But if it's not, and I think you saw a little bit of that against Florida State, they can make you uncomfortable in a hurry and you can't panic.
Ohio State, similar schematically principles with Oregon. They kind of look alike. Your gut feeling on it?
You know, Ohio State's very, very athletic as well. I mean, Oregon's built that team or program. They're going to always have great athletes, but they're playing extremely hard. And in this type of game, you hate to say it, but there's going to be some luck involved. Where the ball bounces the right way early can play a big factor in this game. And I think, you know, with Marcus Mariota, who I think is the best player in the country, if he extends some plays and makes some big plays that aren't really there by scheme-wise, I think Oregon's going to have a chance.
When I say to you Oregon football, what do you think?
What I think is tempo, fast-paced, Chip Kelly, and then as a coach, what I think is Mark Helfrich has done the impossible, and that's take over for a guy, legend, who has changed college football, changing some things in the pros. He was the youngest guy on the staff. He was the new guy on the staff, and he's made it work.
When you look at Mariota, there are parts of Vince Young running around that are similar, but I would say this. I mean, you've looked at film. He's ridiculously efficient. Is it the system elevating him, or is he elevating the system? He doesn't throw any interceptions. And I mean Mac ever.
No, we played against him last year. We were in the Alamo Bowl.
Okay.
We were so unlucky that we got maybe the best team in the country with a healthy quarterback in the Alamo Bowl. When they told us, oh, Coach, we get to play Oregon, I said, we get to or we have to? Which one is it? Come on now. You're kidding me. Oh, boy, we got a lucky draw. I'm glad they're healthy. So you start studying the film, the guy's unbelievable. He does what Vince Young does. He can make a poor decision and turn it into a great play. That's how good he is. The zone read he ran against Florida State, they got 2 outside. He takes the ball, splits them, and goes and scores. And the other thing is he's got that Colt McCoy heart and toughness, and he's got the smile, and he's very polite. He'll go beat you. He's
Oregon and Ohio State tonight, I think it's high scoring. These two teams know each other well. Oregon lost Carrington, another really good receiver for this game. Now, Mark Helfrich said afterwards, hey, we're about the system, not the players. I don't think that's completely true. I do think systems are important for football, basketball, and business. But the San Antonio Spurs system is a lot better with Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan. Oregon is more than just a system. It was a system 7 years ago. But that's why 7 years ago they couldn't compete with the Ohio States or the LSUs in the trenches. They had to get better players for the system. So yes, their system is fantastic. But you can only lose so many good players, and it starts to ding your great system. Doesn't matter if it's a company. It could be a law firm. It could be a Wall Street firm. It could be a law firm. You can be a great law firm. If you lose your top 5 lawyers, you're not the same law firm, despite your history and tradition. I can remember Texas and Alabama playing years ago. It was out in the Rose Bowl, and Alabama was the better team. And early in the first quarter, they tried a fake punt, and there was miscommunication, and Alabama for a quarter just couldn't get their act together. They were nervous. A lot of their players had never been outside the South, and they looked like it for about a quarter. And then they got their groove going. Tonight, early in the game, keep your eyes on the sidelines, the coaches, the anxiety level. The game early could have big swing points. The closer we get to the game, the more I like Ohio State, but I think it's competitive. I do think, you know, Oregon played Michigan State this year. It was a very good game heading into the 4th. They were pretty healthy then. So, you know, it is, Oregon can be slowed. They were even at odds. And in my life, nobody's been better with quarterbacks, the most important position. What is he preaching the last 24, 48 hours? What's going on in that Ohio State practice and locker room?
Belief in edge, belief in one another, belief in this scheme, a belief in how you've been trained this entire year, in this process, and buying into the program. Once you buy into the program and what we're selling you as a team, you will win a national championship. That's what he sold me as a recruit. The whole time when I was getting recruited, I was leaning towards Alabama. But the last few months, Urban was selling me on him, first of all, in winning a national championship and being the best college football player I could possibly be. And I believed in him. That's why I was swayed into going to the University of Florida, was because that belief that he had in himself and what he could do and how he could change college football, and I wanted to be a part of it.
SEC Network, legendary career. You've been in these big games. I was in the stadium 3 days ago, and I was getting goosebumps, and I thought, this is big. Urban's been in this game a lot. Mark Helfrich hasn't been in this game. Do you, as a quarterback, and you've played in these games, is Marcus Mariota nervous? Is Cardale Jones nervous this morning?
Well, it's hard to speak for them, but I know that I was.
You were?
I was really nervous. Are you kidding me? I was nervous the whole week leading up to it, and the biggest thing for me was trying to stay calm, like trying to relax that week and take my mind off of it, hang with your friends, with your family, with your teammates, and do whatever you could. Today is going to be a really long day because they're going to get up pretty early, and they're going to go through their walkthroughs and their meetings, and you know, the whole time you're going to be thinking about it. You're going to be playing the game in your head, and you can overthink a lot of things. So it's really important to be relaxed. And I got a chance this past week to hang out with Marcus and Eugene, and he is someone that is so genuine, and he really is relaxed. But this is the biggest game of his life. He just won a Heisman Trophy, and regardless of if you know, you believe it or not, it adds more pressure to this game, for sure. And he's playing in this game for, you know, the state of Oregon, for his university, for Hawaii. There's so much that is on this kid because they haven't won a championship, and they're supposed to win. And for them to win, he has to be the best player on that field, and he has to be the best player in the country tonight, because I believe Ohio State has a better offensive line, a better defensive line, and probably more talented from top to bottom. But I still believe Marcus is the best player in the country.
The Rose Bowl game is about to begin to usher in this new playoff era in college football.
Running free is Darren Carrington. Cook underneath, losing the ball.
Now you're going to see tempo.
Marcus Mariota scores. Winston pressure and sacked. Loses the football. Oregon's got it.
Florida State has quit.
Picks off another turnover. Winston has all day. Ball comes out. Tony Washington.
Can we put to bed, America, that Oregon is a soft team?
I'm just proud of these guys, and we got one more to take care of.
And we welcome you to New Orleans. It's getting loud in here. Throws on the run. Touchdown, Amari Cooper. Spencer to the end zone. Did he get a foot down? Yes, touchdown. Devin Smith. Touchdown. Sims. Intercepted. Miller. Defensive lineman Green. Fires. Intercepted. Elliott. 85 yards. The dream continues for the